Hello guys, welcome to the weekly market overview with me, Pierre from PAFX. I hope you all had a great trading week and having a great weekend. Well, since I think everyone gonna be watching the final of the World Cup live today, I was thinking to make you a recording instead to being live, since everyone gonna be for sure sitting and waiting for the game. Yeah, so first of all, I want to remind everyone that the course registration for the next batch has just started. The next course will be starting the 6th of August. For any more information and details, please visit my homepage, pa-fx.com. And you can start your registration already today if you are interested, and you can read all the information. You can read testimonials to see how the student been doing in those courses. Another thing we have, we're still having the $10 off for the first month of registration for the chat room subscription. You can also visit my homepage for that. Many traders been very satisfied with the chat room. This service is mostly for those of you who can trading already but need some help with chart updates and trade ideas. That is the most use of it. If you are very new to trading, this is probably not for you, and you should be looking for a course or something like that instead. Yes, so as usual, we need to read the disclaimer to be aware about the risk involved in trading. So please read it carefully and know that this session is only the way I see the market and the way I'm gonna trade it, and it is not a signal in any way. Thank you. Yeah, we start with the news for the next week. We do have a lot of major impact news. As you see, we start the week with the Chinese GDP quarter, and for the USA on Monday we do have the core retail sales and the retail sales month to month. Tuesday, New Zealand CPI quarter, very important. Monetary policy meeting minutes for the Aussie. Governor Carney speaks for the sterling. After that, we do have the average earning index. Also a very important one. As you see, it's been declining for a while now, and the market is expecting unchanged from last month on that. Then we do have Fed Chair Powell testifies at 16:00 it starts. Wednesday, sterling CPI year on year, also very important number, since the CPI been declining as well. Last month's 2.4 unchanged, and there was the market is expecting 2.6 this month, a little bit higher, so it may be gonna be a little bit higher, I'm not sure, but it is a very important number to look at. If below 2.4, that would be very bad for the sterling, and if we meet the expectation, that would be a good signal, and we may see some strength for the sterling. After that, for Wednesday New York session, building permits, another Fed Chair Powell testifies again, and crude oil inventories. For Thursday, employment change and unemployment rate for the Aussie, also a market mover for that pair. And then 10:30 we do have retail sales for the sterling. And Friday gonna be also very important for the CAD, where we're gonna have the CPI month on month. It's been also declining, and it would be very good to see if there is some surprise to the upside for the CAD, which been hammered for a long time now. And then we do have core retail sales for the CAD as well. So as you see, a lot of news to keep an eye on and do that every day. Open the news calendar and see what you have before you start your trading day. So let's hit the charts. We start with the Dixie as usual, and we are on the weekly time frame. As you see, guys, this area here, the 1915 level, been a very important structure where it seems that the bear's been defending this level many times now. We tested a little bit shy of that here. We tested here with a bullish engulfing week that couldn't break the level, and we've been testing for for more than a month now to break above, and without success. And I still see the same thing on this one here. Any daily or weekly close above this 95.15 area gonna open the door for the dollar longer term continuation bullishness. But as for now, you see that these 2 weeks here equal highs. There was the highest high we have, and now we've got a couple of weeks with lower highs. So it's not the most convenient that we're gonna break to the upside. As last week we saw that we broke below the neckline, and we were looking to see if the retest gonna hold below that neckline and continue lower to make a deeper correction toward the monthly S1. That didn't happen, and we continued higher all the way up back to that 95.15 level, which was the important structure that we've been talking about. But Friday was a fail, another fail, couldn't break above that. On the 4-hour time frame, you see we got this huge bearish engulfing candle taking out the previous 3 candles, and the market did close at the lows of the day without any profit taking. So there could be some more to the downside, but before that we need to clear out this area here. This minor structure on the 4-hour need to be taken out for more downside. We do have this minor trend line as well. It is 2 touches here only, so it's still not the most confirmed trend line yet, but it could be good to keep an eye on that. But yeah, as you see on the 4-hour, you see this structure very clearly. It could give some minor support and give it a bounce higher toward the 95 area, probably before a bounce down again, or if the 95.15 got tested again up here, that is the high of this upper range. As I said earlier, for more downside, we want to see a break below this double bottom here. If that happened on 1-hour time frame and the retest failed to break back above, then there is a possibility that we do some more downside toward monthly pivot point. And if that broken, of course we start looking for 95, 94, 20 and so on. It is very interesting structure at a chart, at a interesting structure here. After this rejection on Friday, one could think that we may test lower now. This here was our first lower low, broken below these lows, so it could be some kind of start of lower lows and lower highs even on higher time frame to retest this major low of this whole range here. Yeah, but as I said, take it one step at a time, go down to lower time frame. You need to see this cleared out before any more continuation to the downside. And for the upside, of course, we need to hold above the 95.15 again, and next level gonna be around the monthly R1 and the previous highs up here. I'm expecting possibly more to the downside, but that only what I think after this rejection. And after we take a look at the gold, we're gonna see also that gold did reach an important structure level down here, that been a good support level in the past. After this bounce here, after this test here we got a very strong bounce to the upside, and here on the first test we got a very nice bullish engulfing candle, but could not break above 1260, which was the level I talked about, guys, that when I said that we want to see that broken before any continuation to the upside, and it is now back down to 1237, which is the support level we have here, making possible double bottom and bullish divergence on the RSI, as you see. But last Friday this candle is still strong bearish candle, and it's not any, there is no any kind of any reversal signal yet, yeah. So we've been breaking below the neckline, retest, break, retest, and we reached this important level, but this rejection here could be profit taking only at the end of the day, end of the week, and does not mean it does not need to mean that we have new bulls entering the market here. Before any reversal talking on the gold, we need to see the same situation happening as it happened here, and what I mean by that, we want to see higher highs, at least to start by breaking above this high here, and higher lows back toward the 1260, which is the longer term level. If broken up here and the gold hold above that, then we may gonna see a longer term bullishness on gold. But so far, as I said, all we had is this double bottom on the daily, but no clear buy signal yet, and a nice bullish divergence on the RSI, which is a very strong divergence for now. So very important level to keep an eye at. This should hold if the bulls will have any chance here. If broken, then we start talking about 1229 and 1200 down here as well. Okay, so for oil, as mentioned last week, 75 was a very important level, where we heard the Saudis saying that 75 is a fair place, and as said also, it's now time to see what is the new range where the oil gonna trade in. So what happened was, we've been talking about keeping an eye on this range. Any break below that or above that will give you the direction. In this case, we've got the break below, and we continue lower toward the 69,450, which is the first support level, as you see, based on these tests here. And it is still looking bearish, but for more downside, we wanted to see a break below Friday's S1 down here to test probably the monthly S1, yeah. So if you go down up back to the daily, you see that this area here is now the support level that you should be keeping an eye at, because it may happen something like this and a bounce where we do have a retest of this neckline, or probably some kind of summer channel. Do not forget that we're entering summer trading now, and things may get slow. For a longer term, we still have this ascending channel, and it is holding well, and nothing will change until the price is below this channel, yeah. So if we put the 200 daily moving average, you see that the price is still above that, and even above the 100 moving average, which is the brown one here. Been testing twice here before the bounce, and now it's following this channel. So longer term, it is still bullish as far as we are inside this channel. We could see a retest toward these levels down here around the 66 as well, if we break below this low here at this Thursday low here at 69.20. If that broken, then we start looking at 66 as possible support. Okay. Aussie Jappy, I think you remember this box we've been talking about. We had the major one, and we had we've been talking about the lower range where the price was stuck inside that, and I said on the break, be ready for the retest and continuation, and we've got exactly that. Last week, as you see, we've got the break all the way toward the 83 area, double top, then back down to do the retest of the structure where it was the level I told you to keep an eye at for the bounce. And we've got a very, very nice bounce here, breaking another new high and another retest and probably continuation. Yeah, this still here from last week from my call in my trading room. So it is still the same level. Any retest toward the 83 once again could be a good level to look at for a possible buy. We are targeting the high, the top of the box just above monthly R1 as the ultimate target here, because that would be once again an important resistant level to keep an eye at, where we could see some trouble, some rejection, or possibly new sellers as well. Yeah, so this range is still in play, and we should keep playing this range until we see a breakout. If the breakout happen to the upside next week, so we want to see a daily close above these highs, then you could go to lower time frame to look for a retest and buy, and that would be the next move to the upside all the way to this neckline here. Yeah, very interesting chart for next week to keep an eye at. Aussie New Zealand also still making higher highs and higher lows. Now at this move here we were expecting a break. That didn't happen. We've got a rejection all the way down here, but then another push, retest, and another push higher. So last week, last Friday, we got a nice and strong close. On the weekly time frame, what I'm looking at is this possible inverted head and shoulder here that could be in play now, and that we see this area here as the possible neckline, because if that broken, we probably gonna move all the way up to the previous highs up here. Yeah, at the top of the range up here. But as you see, since this move here, we've got our first higher low, another higher low, and last week another higher low here. And on the daily, it is still also bullish structure with higher highs and higher lows. For more upside, it is very easy to see. We want to see a break, retest, and then the continuation. See this area as resistance level as first. So expect some rejection from this level, probably toward the neckline down here before any other push to the upside. So keep an eye on this level. You may get some rejection here at this level to give you a bounce down. This down here is also another important level that could be a possible buy level. Aussie USD, last week we've got a break above the neckline, but then got rejected all the way back down here. It never broke previous low. The close was just above the low here, and Thursday and Friday was 2 bullish days, so we do have our first, let me fix that. As you see, we do have our first higher high, and now we do have our first higher low, which make me start thinking for a possible continuation. For entries, we need to go back to lower time frame on the 4 hour here. As you see, Also, we're having higher lows, moving higher here, looking for the break of this neckline as first. Break, retest to the neckline, and then continuation to retest the previous highs. The 0.75 up here is an important resistance as well for a longer term. So for a longer term move up, you want to see this broken and then continuation. Okay, the major support on Aussie USD, and for more downside, it is still this green area down here. And the reason it is a major support, if we go back, you see how many times this level been tested. So before anything, this low need to be taken out for more to the downside. But since we've got a first higher high and first higher low, there is my expectation is to probably move to the upside. And we do have this nice inverted head and shoulder down here as well. Shoulder, left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder down here. Neckline is above this, need to be broken for really more upside. Yeah, but why to wait all that time? So I think any break and close above this neckline here, then we start looking to buy around this level down here once again, for in anticipation to reach the monthly pivot point at least. That was it for Aussie USD. Euro Aussie still struggling at this level here that we've been talking about for a while. It was the retest of the 618 Fibonacci retracement of this whole move, and it was the structure area here at the neckline. So we've got many tests to break this level, and it couldn't do so. And the RSI is making now nice bearish divergence, but we are still going sideways inside this range. So if you look at it like this on the 4-hour time frame, you see this clear range here that we've been trading, and we should keep doing so until we have a breakout. I'm expecting the breakout to be to the downside this time. Any break below this, then we wait for the retest and the continuation. First trouble gonna be around the monthly pivot point and the neckline. That may give you another bounce higher, but I think after such a consolidation, if we break to the downside, we're gonna get a little bit of bounce before a break to the downside once again. So this is my scenario for Euro Aussie. Still important structure here, and we should still keep playing this box until we've got the breakout, especially if it happens to the downside. That would be even better. EuroCAD also inside a very narrow range, inside this NFP channel here. From after the NFP, we stuck inside the range here. 4-hour time frame, you see it also clearly. It is between the monthly pivot point and the highs of the NFP release. Yeah, so this is also the same scenario here. Keep playing, buying the low, selling the high until you have a breakout to the downside or to the upside, and then you follow the retest on this one. But if we go back to the daily, you see that we're still having higher highs and higher lows, but this is now our first lower high on the daily time frame, much lower than this high. And that's why I am looking, if we're gonna break below this low, then there is a possibility that we move all the way down to retest these lows down here. But the break here need to happen, and firstly it need to break below and close below this monthly pivot point, bottom of the range. Euro New Zealand still looking strong after a very strong push to the upside. We couldn't hold above these highs, but it is still a close above structure. Now we have another higher low, and here we had last Friday a nice bullish candle that was anticipation for a continuation. Yeah, so we got the break above the range, retest and continuation, some more consolidation above this level. That could mean, if we've got something like this, that could mean a consolidation before the next leg to the upside. First trouble gonna be here, second trouble at the monthly R1. Very interesting chart, still bullish, and we should be only looking for bullish continuation as far as we are above here. If you want to sell this, of course you want to wait for a break below the structure here. This need to happen, then the retest, and then you can sell the retest toward the 50% and this possible support level down here. Okay, as for now it is a bullish structure, and of course we should be looking for continuation to the upside to test these highs up here around the monthly R1. Euro USD, this one broke above the neckline with this candle, and then we've got inverted hammer and start moving lower. After the break and the close here, I was saying to the guys in the room, we look for the retest and buy that retest at 1.1720 in anticipation to reach the monthly R1. We've got the first bounce, as you see on this day, but there was no continuation, and last Friday we pushed all the way back down here trying to break the lows, but got rejected all the way back above monthly pivot point, which giving another higher low here, as you see. So this is a higher low, this is another, the first higher low, now we do have the second higher low and the higher high. So based on that, I am anticipating a possible continuation. But to be sure and to be more safe, you want to see Euro USD back above this structure here. It would be the much better play to see a break above and then try to take the next correction to the downside, targeting these highs here around the R2 from Thursday. That would be the first trouble area, and the ultimate trouble area is of course at the monthly R1 and the highs of the start of this major move here to the downside. Yeah. Sterling Aussie sideways still. Best buy level in my opinion if we got another retest to the monthly pivot point, targeting these highs here. As you see, it is a clear level here that been acting as a strong resistance, and there is no way to think about more upside before we see a break and close on daily time frame above the structure. If that happen, then we're gonna move much higher to retest these neckline up here. Okay, so there is a lot to happen before that, and next week it is major sterling week when we look at the news calendar. So, and we do have some Aussie news as well, so it could be the week. On lower time frame, you see we have two ranges. We have this major range here between the monthly pivot point down here and these highs, and we do have this upper range with this low here that been acting also as good support and resistance level looking left. So for short term, I'm looking for next week to see if this level gonna hold. Look for any bullish evidence on the 1 hour time frame to target these highs once again, and here we reverse or we sell it until we see a breakout to the upside. Then of course we may continue higher, but as for now we should be playing the box. There's no idea to guess for something else, because the box being clear and it's holding well, so there's no idea to try to guess what will happen when we already see that it is a strong resistance here. Sterling CAD, even narrower range on this one. Start looking as a possible bearish flag here if we look at it like this. So still consolidation, no break out of the range, and I am still waiting. This have been a very strong support so far, tested once, 2, 3 times, and the highs around the monthly pivot point are the resistance level. The lows here are much clearer. Here we have higher and lower touches, so it's not as clear. But if we go to the 4-hour time frame, you see the range clearly here, I think. So you have this range to play, and you should keep playing this range until we have some kind of breakout to the upside or to the downside. Yeah, so it's been very easy trading on this one by just blindly buying the lows here, targeting monthly pivot point, and then selling back down. Keep doing so until you've get the breakout. We may get the breakout next week, as I said, since we have some major event for the sterling. Sterling JAPY moved nicely to the upside. JAPY been hammered of every other pair so far. We broke above the neckline here. It broke above the monthly R1. We've got the retest and another push higher. So I am expecting sterling JAPY to reach the 150 area before a possible bounce to the downside. But on the daily time frame, you see that the RSI is at the extreme now, making also some kind of hidden bearish divergence, because this high here is much higher than where the price is right now. So we do have a major hidden bearish divergence here. And if we go to a lower time frame, even on the 4-hour time frame, you see that we are still in a bullish structure. After breaking the neckline, we've been talking about to buy the retest at 147.50. I didn't get triggered on this one. It moved a little bit earlier, as you see, and I still see the same area as possible support level. Yeah, so keep an eye at 149 for a possible short-term bounce lower to make another retest to these broken structure here, and probably possible support on the monthly R1 before another bounce higher. Yeah, as far as we are trading above this nice trend line here, it is still should be by the dips on this market. Sterling USD, also another possible inverted head and shoulder here on the daily. Looking at this chart, something like this. We've tried to break much lower here last Friday, but the bulls did push the price all the way back up above the 1.32, which was the first support level we were looking at from last week. As you see here, this is the 1.32, been support here, tested here, tested at resistance, and many times as support here. Now the price managed to break back above that, reaching this previous high on the 4-hour time frame. That need to be taken out actually for more upside, so want to see this happening and then possibly a continuation. But for next week, I think on the lower time frame, 1 hour or 15 minute, you could be looking for any retest toward the 1.32 as a possible level for a continuation. As you see, the day close at the highs. If we start correcting as well, you could draw your Fibonacci retracement tool. If this was the last high, I'm not sure yet, and try to see if we gonna find any support at 38.2 as first, or the 50%. 1 hour time frame, same view, broke above this high, so this short-term trend is broken now, since we taken out this high with a very strong move to the upside. So yeah, you see the structure much better here, why I am interested of the 1.32 as first level of trouble. New Zealand JAPI also strong to the upside with higher highs and higher lows on the daily. We broke back above the monthly pivot point, and there is a possibility for some continuation to retest these highs up here. 4 hour time frame, also bullish structure. We've been looking at the retest of this monthly pivot point for some continuation higher. Now the retest happened a little bit late Friday, so I didn't enter the trade, but it is still a very interesting area. Any retest toward this monthly pivot point, or even lower toward the structure, 75-50-ish area here, could be also a good support level for a continuation. But at first we may see the bounce happening at the monthly pivot to the upside. New Zealand USD, we broke above this high, making a higher high here. Now last week we've got some kind of higher low, especially if we break above the high from Friday next week. If we break above this high from last Friday, then there is a possibility to test to the monthly pivot point area as first level. 4 hour time frame, we've got a break above this inverted head and shoulder, and we were expecting as first a retest and possible bounce from there. That didn't happen. What we got was a break below, retest, and continuation. So it is still bearish on this particular time frame, and for a possible reversal, we want to see a break above these highs on the 4 hour time frame, a close above that, then possibly you could look for the retest and the continuation toward the monthly pivot point, which is the important level for this pair. If longer term it would move higher, we need to take out these highs. Yeah, so keep an eye on that. For the downside, if we test once again here, that would be the ultimate support level to try to go long from, because if we look at the daily, you see this is the last line of defense before we open all the way down here. So should be defended at this level if got tested again, making some kind of double bottom here. But since we've got this nice push to the upside, it is better to look at the break above here as first signal for a continuation to the upside. USD CAD broke this neckline of the double top all the way down here, retest to this important structure up here. 1.3220 is a very old support level based on these tested here, so it is a very important level. But actually major swings, you still have a bullish structure for major swings. Yeah, but after this strong move to the downside, breaking below the neckline, making another low here that got broken, one could anticipate a sell once again from this 1.3220 as a possible area to sell from to the downside. As you see, we've tested here, couldn't break above, pushed back down, first lower high here on this time frame, and for more downside we want to see a break below this low that would give us another lower low and a continuation to test these lows. If those got taken out, then 1.30 is an important support level again to look at. Yeah, so first target should be at that level, 1.3220 to 1.30 is your area to play for next week, and see if broken, then you see that we have lots of room to the downside. USD Chief was very strong last week until it reached these highs, tested these highs, tested above these highs, some kind of stop loss hunt here. We had these previous highs as well, never got tested, but on Friday we've got this test above these highs, and this is a strong rejection. It could be a possible correction, at least, since on the 4 hour you see that we broke above here this structure, and now rejection back down. So if you are holding a short, you need to keep an eye on these structure up here as a possible support level, and where we could maybe see a possible bounce up. Any close back inside this range here like this may open the way for more downside to retest the monthly pivot point. Okay, interesting chart. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this structure level as a possible buy and continuation to the upside as first. But if broken, then we may move lower toward monthly pivot point as well. USD JAPY, very strong move. As you see, we finally broke above the 111. We broke above monthly R1 and monthly R2 before we've got some rejection last Friday. It's not the strongest, but it was a bearish day. One could argument some profit taking after such a huge moves, and reaching monthly R2 as well. It is a narrow month, a narrow pivot range month, so reaching R2 is not a big deal actually, since they are close to each other. If you compare the range of this month with last month, you're gonna see that let me change the monthly and give you a view how it looks like. So this was last month's pivot, and as you see, the range between S2 and R2 last month, it's about 655 pips, and the range between R2 and S2 for this month is 438 pips only. So it is much narrower range, as you see, and it is not a big deal to reaching R2 and probably more. So for UJ, what we should be looking at as first is the retest of the monthly R1, the 111.50 area. That is the first level to look at for a possible buy level based on retest of broken structure and continuation. Yeah, so it is a bullish market, and we should keep looking to buy it as far as we are making higher highs and higher lows. There is no idea to do something else, and as you see, this is an important structure. So keep an eye on the monthly R1 for UJ as a possible buy level and continuation higher. And now if we go to the weekly on the Dow to see what we've been going on, you see that after the retest to break below this week couldn't happen, pushed higher, and last week was a very strong bullish candle closing at the highs of the week, signaling possible continuation to the upside to retest at least previous highs, and who knows, probably more. Daily time frame above the 200 moving average. Once again, here is the 200. We broke below it. There was no continuation, but then back above it and above the 24,600. When this break happened, I told the guys in the room to buy 24,600, and that was a perfect trade. We've got we've been watching this range to be broken. We've got that. We got the retest. Then we talked about 24,600 as a very important level. We've got the break, we've got the retest, and now the continuation, as you see. So it is a bullish structure again, and we should be looking for buys. Closing the day at the highs, signaling also possible continuation. If you're holding a long, keep an eye around this area. R2 from last Friday, this is a good resistance and support level in the past. Could give you some trouble here, but I think that would be only a short-term dip before a continuation to test the extreme highs here. So keep an eye on this possible support level as first for a possible buy area. As you see, we do have this trend line that you could follow as well based on these tests. And yeah, possible continuation here is not an impossible thing, yeah. So this would be the level to look at for a possible buy and continuation. And that was, I think, the last pair. Yes, it was. So thank you for watching this video. Of course, if you like these videos, please hit the like button. If you are new for the channel, do not forget to subscribe. Once again, I will remind you that the registration for the course has started now. Go to my webpage and read the information about that. You can pay and join my chat room so far until the course start. And we still have the offer of $10 off first month for the chat room subscription. That is also on my webpage, and you can visit the webpage and do your registration there. Thank you very much, and see you next week. Bye bye.